Okay, we're going to add a more complicated number. We're adding 332, and I'm going to think about it as 330 and 2 and 85. Now all I've done is I've decomposed those numbers. And you'll notice, I don't even have plus signs between them. It's expanded form right now. This is how we traditionally would decompose these numbers. I can put plus signs between them, but I know 85 is an 80 and a 5. But as I'm sitting here looking at it, I certainly see the 2 and the 5 can go together, and they're going to give me a 7. And I'd really like the 80 to go with 30, but it'd be so much easier if 80 had a 20, because 8 and 2 make a 10, and so 80 and 20 would make 100. And I don't really have a 20, but if I think about this, 30, it's really just a 10 and a 20. So now I do have something to put with my 80, and I'm going to get 100. But I had 300 plus this 100. Well, that just makes 400, because I've used it to go along with my other 100. And then I still have this 10, but I have this 7. Couldn't I put the 10 and 7 together to make 17? So now I have my answer, 417. And I think it's almost something I could put together in my head if I get used to doing this with numbers. Now let's look at the regrouping, or the actual standard algorithm. Well, don't 5 and 2 still make 7? And 8 and 3, well, 8 and 2 make a 10, and one more would be 8 plus 3, so that'd make an 11. And now that I've regrouped, I don't have 300, I have another one, 417. And so you can see I was able to add the exact same numbers different ways. And I certainly could think about adding this 8 and 3, the 80 and the 30. I just think it's much harder for students to do that in their head. It's far easier to make a 10. It's always much easier to make a 10. So I could think about, if I knew my math facts, I would know this is 110. I would get basically the same thing I got over here. And of course I still would get a 7. And this would be a 300 coming down to go with the 110 and the 7. I just usually try to make a 10 wherever possible because it is much easier. So now I want you to give it a try. I want you to see if you can add these numbers, 429 plus 78. Can you decompose so you can add these numbers? See if you can use the number bonds and decomposing to add them. Give it a try.